The story starts on a strange planet called Barsoom. This planet is divided into three main groups: Helium, Zodanga, and the Tharks. Helium and Zodanga have been fighting each other for hundreds of years, each trying to take full control of Barsoom. During one of their big battles, Helium's army, wearing blue capes, is fighting against Zodanga's army, who wear red. In the middle of all this, Zab Than, the leader of Zodanga, is approached by three mysterious men known as the Tharks. The leader of the Tharks, Martian, gives Zab Than a powerful blue weapon. It's charged with something called the Ninth Ray, a strong kind of energy. Martian tells Zab that he's been chosen by the goddess to use this weapon, and that it will give him the power to finally win the war. Then the scene shifts. Now we're in New York City in the year 1881. A young man named Edgar is called there by his uncle, John Carter. When Edgar gets to the train station, he's picked up by John's butler and taken to his uncle's big house. That's when he finds out something shocking. John Carter has died. John's lawyer explains that John left everything he owned to Edgar. But there's something even stranger. John's body is being kept in a tomb, and the door to the tomb can only be opened from the inside. Before leaving, the lawyer hands Edgar John's personal diary. John had left clear instructions that only Edgar was allowed to read it. After the lawyer leaves, Edgar starts reading the diary. It begins by saying that when John was alive, Edgar was the only person who ever believed his wild stories. So it only makes sense that he would be the one to hear this final one. The story then takes us back in time to Arizona, right after the Civil War. John Carter was once a captain in the Confederate Army, but now he's a tired man who just wants to live in peace. He spends his time searching for gold in deep desert caves, hoping to strike it rich and leave the war behind forever. A Union officer named Colonel Powell wants John to join the U.S. Cavalry and help fight the Apache. He believes John's experience in battle would be useful, so he tries to force John into the army again. But John refuses. He's had enough of war. He tells Powell that he's already done his part. He's lost enough, suffered enough. He doesn't want to fight anymore. All he wants is to be left alone, to search for gold and stay out of any more battles. After trying to run away a few times and failing, John finally gets lucky. He knocks out a guard and grabs the colonel's horse. Then he takes off. Colonel Powell and his men start chasing him. As they follow his trail, something unexpected happens. They all run into a group of Apache warriors on horseback. Things get tense real quick. Both sides are ready for a fight, and John finds himself stuck right in the middle of it. While John is trying to get away during all the chaos, the colonel and his men get into a shootout with the Apache warriors. As the fighting continues, John tries to slip away quietly, but then he hears a gunshot. The colonel has been hit. Out of pity, he helps the wounded colonel and carries him to a nearby cave to take cover. It's a cave John has never seen before, and that's surprising, because he's searched these lands for gold for a long time. Once inside, John lights a match to see better. And what he finds stuns him. The ceiling of the cave is filled with gold. It glimmers in the light, like something out of a dream. But before he can take it all in, something strange happens. A man suddenly appears behind him, as if out of nowhere. And it's one of the Tharks, the same mysterious men we saw with Zab Than earlier in the movie. The colonel manages to warn John just in time. John quickly fights the strange man. It's a rough struggle, but John manages to grab a gun and shoot him. The Thern falls to the ground. As John checks the body, he notices something strange in the man's hand, a glowing medallion. The Thern is still barely alive, and he mutters a strange word, Barsoom. John, curious, repeats the word out loud, Barsoom. Suddenly, a bright blue light flashes out of the medallion. When John opens his eyes, everything is different. He's no longer in the cave. Instead, he finds himself lying in the middle of a strange desert. The sky looks odd, and the ground feels lighter. He stands up and tries to walk, but with every step, he stumbles and falls. It feels like he's floating in the air instead of walking on solid ground. Confused, he keeps trying and slowly figures out how to move in this new place. As he explores, he climbs up a small hill nearby. At the top, he sees something strange. Several giant eggs are hatching. Out of them come strange-looking babies. Just then, a large group of green creatures with 6 arms shows up, riding huge animals. Their leader doesn't waste time. He charges at John, who panics and leaps into the air, a massive jump that shocks everyone. The other creatures start shooting at him, but the leader quickly tells them to stop. The creatures speak in a language John doesn't understand. Then the leader comes closer and introduces himself as Tarkus. John replies, "My name is John Carter from Virginia." But the creatures don't get it quite right. They think his name is Virginia. Tarkus then tells John to jump again, like he did before. But John refuses. He's still holding onto his weapon and doesn't trust them. When he tries to use it, the creatures attack. They injure him and take him as a prisoner. As they talk among themselves, we learn the name of their kind. They're called the Tharks. Somewhere else on the same planet, we meet the princess of Helium. Her name is Dejah Thoris. She's practicing how to present a new weapon she's designed to her father, the king of Helium. Her city is in big trouble. Helium has been at war with another city called Zodanga for a long time, and now they're close to losing. That's because Zodanga has help from the Tharks, those powerful, mysterious beings. Dejah has been studying their secret weapon, which uses something called the Ninth Ray. She believes she's finally figured out how it works and has created her own version of the weapon to help save Helium. But when she presents the weapon to her father, something goes wrong. A man secretly tampers with the device, and it explodes during her demonstration. Her father is angry and disappointed, and her invention is seen as a failure. At the same time, Zodanga's leader, Zab Than, offers to end the war, but only if Dejah agrees to marry him. She is strongly against it. She knows that if Zab Than marries her, he will become the Prince of Helium and eventually rule all of Barsoom. Back with the Tharks, John Carter is taken to their city and left in a room with the newborn Thark infants. Later that night, a kind female Thark named Sola brings John something to drink. It's a strange liquid, but he drinks it. Soon after, he realizes he can now understand their language. He notices something important. Tarkus has the medallion, the same one that brought him to this strange world. Without it, John knows he can never return home. For the first time, he can talk to the Tharks, and they can understand him too. The next day, the Tharks gather around and order John to jump high in front of everyone. Before he can think about it more, something incredible happens. Two massive battleships appear in the sky. It's Helium versus Zodanga, the two cities locked in their never-ending war. The Tharks watch in excitement, cheering and placing bets on who will win, treating the battle like entertainment. Up in the sky, Princess Dejah Thoris is fighting in one of the Helium ships. She's trying to control the ship, but during the fight, she falls off, tumbling through the air. John doesn't hesitate. Using his new jumping powers, he leaps into the sky and grabs Dejah just in time, saving her from falling to her death. The Tharks see this and start cheering for John, impressed by his strength and bravery. Now, John is right in the middle of the fight, alongside Dejah. Together, they battle Zodanga's soldiers, using their combined skills to turn the tide of the war. John's strength and jumping ability make all the difference. In the end, they manage to change the course of the battle, and Helium wins. But their victory comes at a cost. Their ship crashes, and they end up stranded with the Tharks. Back at the Thark city, Tarkus is impressed by John's abilities. He sees that John is no ordinary man and offers him a place as his right-hand man. John is reluctant at first, but he doesn't disagree. He knows that aligning with Tars could give him more chances to stop Zab Than and the war. Later that night, John and Dejah have a quiet conversation. Dejah, still shocked by everything, tells John something that surprises him even more. They aren't on Earth anymore. They're on Mars, or as they call it, Barsoom. John is shocked when Dejah tells him they're on Mars, or Barsoom as they call it. He refuses to believe her. He insists he's from Earth, and Dejah finds it hard to believe too. After all, how could a man from another world end up on Barsoom? But there's something John can't deny. Because of Barsoom's low gravity and his thicker bone density, John has incredible strength. He can leap higher than any Thark, even without trying. Dejah starts to realize that maybe John isn't lying, and he really does come from somewhere else. Wanting to understand more about how John could travel between worlds, Dejah decides to take him somewhere special, the Thark Temple. It's a place where outsiders are never allowed, but Dejah hopes it might hold the answers they need. Sola, the kind female Thark who has been helping John, follows them, begging them to stop. She warns them that it's forbidden for outsiders to enter the temple, but Dejah insists, leading John inside. Once there, Dejah shows him a statue of the goddess Isis, the one the Tharks worship. She reads the markings engraved on the statue, hoping to find a clue about how John arrived on Barsoom. But before they can learn anything more, the three of them are arrested by the Tharks. They're sentenced to death for breaking the temple's sacred rules. As they're thrown into a cell, Tharks, the Thark leader, asks everyone to leave him alone with the prisoners. When they're alone, he surprises John by revealing something shocking. Tharks is Sola's father. He's not the cruel leader the Tharks think he is. He doesn't want John and Dejah to die. Tharks hands John his medallion, the one that holds the key to returning home, and tells him to go to the river Isis. He believes that by solving the mystery of the goddess Isis, John can find a way to get back to his world. But when the Tharks return to the room, they find that Tharks has betrayed them. Tar's enemy, Dejah, takes control and declares himself the new leader. John, Dejah, and Sola escape, heading towards the river Isis. Dejah is leading the way, but Sola starts to act strangely. She admits she was actually taking them toward the city of Helium, not the river Isis. She planned to use John as a soldier in the war. John is disappointed, but he confronts Sola and asks her to lead the way to the river. He leaves Dejah behind, feeling betrayed. Dejah insists that she only wanted to use John to avoid marrying Zab Than. She tells John she never wanted the war to continue. John, realizing she has no other choice, asks her to come with him to the river. After some hesitation, Dejah agrees, and the three of them set off together. They travel along the river Isis, and eventually, they arrive at an enormous inverted pyramid, a strange and ancient place. John and Dejah climb to the top of the massive inverted pyramid. As they look down, they see a strange blue energy forming on the ground below. Dejah realizes what it is. It's the power of the ninth ray, the very energy she had used to create her weapon. This discovery is huge. Dejah also makes another connection. John's arrival on Barsoom might be tied to the ninth ray. She believes that his appearance here isn't a random event. It's likely that a copy of John was transmitted from Earth to Mars using the power of the ninth ray. Before they can fully process everything, an army of war hoons, led by Martian, the leader of the Tharks, approaches. John bravely tells Dejah and Sola to run while he stays behind to fight. He knows he's no match for the entire army, but he refuses to let them capture Dejah again. Dejah and Sola escape, while John fights with all his strength. The battle is fierce, but just when things look grim, the king of Helium sends his army to help John. Together, they manage to defeat the war hoons, and John is badly injured in the process. They take him back to Helium, where Dejah finally reaches her home. She is shocked to find Zab Than, the king of Zodanga, waiting for her. Zab Than has come to Helium, but he's not bringing any soldiers or weapons. Instead, he's come with a peace offering. He asks Dejah to marry him in order to end the war. Dejah is torn. She doesn't want to marry Zab Than, but she doesn't see any other way to stop the war. Reluctantly, she agrees to marry him. Meanwhile, John is resting in a chamber in the Helium Palace, recovering from his injuries. A soldier, secretly appointed by Dejah, sneaks into his room and takes him to Dejah's private chamber. There, Dejah speaks to John, telling him that she wants him to use the medallion and return to Earth. She can't ask him to stay and help with the war anymore. But just as the guards enter her chamber, John vanishes, using the medallion to disappear. Dejah thinks John has gone back to Earth, but in reality, he's hiding from the soldiers. After they leave, John tries to slip outside, but he is quickly caught by Martian. John is stunned to see Martian change into another creature, something completely different from what he was before. Martian has the power to transform into anything he wants. As the entire city of Helium prepares for the wedding of Zab Than and Dejah, John is in grave danger. Martian has bound him to himself using the technology developed by the ninth ray. With a wrist device, Martian can control John's body, making it impossible impossible for him to move freely. Shang smirks as he reveals his plan to John. Zab Than is not the man Dejah thinks he is. Zab Than only wants to marry her to gain control over Helium, and once they are married, he plans to kill her and invade Helium. The Tharks sided with Zodanga in the war because Zab Than was easy to manipulate, but Shang has his own ambitions. His real goal is to rule all of Barsoom through Zab Than. Just when it seems like Shang is about to kill John, something incredible happens. An alien dog, one John had befriended earlier, comes to the rescue. The dog attacks Shang and bites off the wrist device controlling John, setting him free. John quickly realizes he doesn't have much time. He grabs a flying craft and takes off, hoping to stop Dejah from marrying Zab Than. However, John has no idea how to control the aircraft. In his panic, he crashes it near Thark territory. The Tharks capture John once again, and this time they've got Tarkas too, who has been beaten and thrown into captivity. Dejah, the new leader of the Tharks after Tarkas' betrayal, orders John and Tars to be thrown into a pit with massive beasts called the White Apes. The White Apes are terrifying and fierce. John, with his incredible strength, fights them off one by one. Despite the odds, he kills the apes in front of the entire Thark population, proving his power and defying Dejah's authority. The Tharks watch in awe as John triumphs, and though they are amazed by his strength, they are also starting to realize that John is not someone they can easily control. John, after defeating the White Apes, steps forward and challenges Dejah to fight him one-on-one. The Tharks are watching closely, and Dejah accepts the challenge. But in just one move, John overpowers him, defeating Dejah with ease. The crowd of Tharks erupts into cheers, amazed by John's strength. John stands tall, now the new leader of the Tharks. With his new position, John speaks to the Tharks, convincing them to join him in the fight against Zodanga. He persuades them that the Tharks should fight for Helium and help defeat Zab Than and his army. John, leading the Tharks, quickly makes his way to the wedding ceremony of Dejah and Zab Than. He arrives just in time to stop the wedding. When Zab Than sees John, he tries to kill Dejah, but John rushes in and stops him, saving her at the last moment. A battle breaks out between the soldiers of Helium and Zodanga. But now, the Tharks are fighting on the side of Helium. The tide of the war turns, and Zodanga begins to lose. As the battle rages on, Shang sneaks away, managing to escape with John's medallion. With the war over and Zodanga defeated, John decides he will stay on Mars and live with Dejah. He no longer cares about the medallion. His place is now with Dejah. They get married, and the crowd cheers for them. John is now the Prince of Helium. The next morning, John and Dejah are on a balcony, enjoying the view. Dejah leaves John outside and goes into their room. Suddenly, Shang appears. John tries to fight him, but Shang uses the medallion to send John back to Earth. John wakes up covered in dust, with his beard long and unkempt. He looks around and realizes he's back in the same cave where it all started. He glances over at Colonel Powell's remains, suggesting that a long time has passed on Earth while he was away on Mars. John looks for the medallion, but it's nowhere to be found. He has no way to return to Mars now. However, the gold embedded in the cave walls catches his eye, making him wealthy. Even though he's rich, John knows there are more medallions out there on Earth, and he's determined to find them. For the next 10 years, John starts a mining corporation, searching for the medallions. Then, one day, he finally finds one. He's overjoyed, but also cautious. He knows that the Tharks have been watching him all this time, and he must protect his body on Earth when he goes back to Mars. If anything happens to his body here, he will die on both planets. That's why his mausoleum only opens from the inside. He had planned his death in order to return to Mars. John writes a final note in his diary, asking Edgar to protect his mausoleum from the Tharks in exchange for the wealth he has gained. Edgar is shocked after reading this, not knowing what to make of it all. He goes to the mausoleum and tries to open it with a secret password. The word is Ned, the name John had called him when he was a kid. As the doors to the mausoleum creak open, a Thark approaches Edgar. The Thark had been spying on him, waiting for the chance to kill John. But before he can strike, someone shoots the Thark from behind. Edgar is beyond surprised when he sees his uncle standing before him. John explains that the Thark's medallion was the last one he needed. It turns out that he had never truly died. Everything, including his death, was faked to lure the Tharks and acquire their medallion. John then asks Edgar to protect his mausoleum from the Tharks from now on, and he steps inside the mausoleum. Lying on the bed with the medallion. He begins chanting the words that will take him back to Mars, once again, Barsoom. Subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Like the video and leave a comment below to help out the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.